A great event for beginners and experienced speakers alike, radio commentary. Now, radio is a great event for a lot of people who want good public speaking for a number of reasons. First of all, radio is short. Now, radio can be a lot of fun because it's a lot like being on the radio. Granted, you don't have a giant mic in front of you, but the concept is very similar. You're going to be giving a news-style speech. Now, I don't mean you're reading the news. You're giving a speech to kind of inform the public about something going on that's news-related, but it's only the one topic. It's not like a big list of news articles. So you're going to use your best radio voice that you possibly can, and you're going to speak this short speech. This is a speech that has been pre-written by you. It's not something that you write on the fly. This is something you're going to think about ahead of time. You're going to prepare and write ahead of time. But unlike other events, there are a few differences. First of all, one of the things that's nice is you don't have to memorize your speech. You actually get to read your speech. So that doesn't mean that you can just la 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 la. No, this is still a performance. This is still you performing a radio commentary. It has to be practiced and polished and smooth and sounding like something you'd hear on the radio. But the way that a radio round works is when the judge comes into the room, the judge is going to situate themselves so that they're not looking at you. Their back is turned to you. They're only listening with their ears as to your speech. They're not looking at your body language. They're not looking at your performance. They're only listening to the words out of your mouth. So everything in your radio must be done through vocal performance. So a lot of people really like this, especially beginners for speech and debate, because, like I said, it's not memorized. It's something that they're reading. So it takes that kind of complication level out of the event. And they don't have to worry about what they look like. You still have to look nice for rounds. Guys, you're still in shirts and ties and all that kind of stuff. You can't show up in sweatpants just because the judge can't see you. But the judge, when you are doing your event, does not know what you look like if they're doing it correctly. Many times I've been judging radio finals rounds, and when we get into awards, the 7 radio finalists get up on stage. I have no idea who these people are, even though I just judged their round, because I don't know what they look like. I'm only listening to their voice. So you have to have that radio announcer voice that some people like to have. Now, a second part to radio is that when you start, you need to introduce yourself almost like you're from a radio station. Now, a lot of people get a little bit confused by this, but the easiest way to do this is just, as part of your roadmap thesis section, before you introduce your topic, you're going to have your introduction. And then in that kind of that second paragraph below your introduction, you're going to say, "Hi, my name is Steve from KSSB, and today we're going to talk about," blah, on and on and on. Where does that come from? That my name is Steve at KSSB. KSSB is the typical call letters from a radio station. I just made that up. I used my initials, my initial SSB. Everyone has their initials. Every radio station that's west of the Mississippi River, their call letters start with a K. And then just as the random trivia part of this is all stations east of the Mississippi River, their call stations start with a W. I'm not exactly sure the whole history there, but suffice it to say, for you here in Oregon, your radio station name would need to start with a K. So just you K in your initials and you're covered there. So, "Hi, my name is," insert first name here, "from K, blah, blah, blah." Make sure it's 4 letters altogether, and then you're good to go there. So just kind of throw that in there so that way it sounds like you're on the radio. You don't have to say, "coming up next," or "let's do the weather," or "coming up now is the news." You don't have to do any of that. Just make your speech focused on your particular topic and write it like you would any other speech. Introduction, thesis, roadmap, point 1, point 2, point 3, conclusion, all that kind of stuff. Now, the biggest thing to keep in mind for radio that can be a little bit tricky is that of time. Now, in every single event, you hear me talking about time. There's this time limit, blah, 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 blah. Radio, they're very, very particular about time Because think of it like you're on the air and you have a certain amount of time to fill. If you stop early, there's dead air. They can't have that on a radio station. If you run long, you're going to be running into the next segment. They can't have that on a radio station. So you need to stop exactly when you're done. So radio speeches are 5 minutes in length. Now, because we're all sorts of different skill levels, there is a little bit of variation in there. You have 15 seconds on either side of that 5 minutes to get to. So at minimum, you have to get to 4:45. If you don't make 4:45, you are not going to be doing well in the round. The judges are going to rank you at the bottom. If you go over 5:15, same thing. The judges are going to rank you at the bottom. You have to be within 4:45 to 5:15, and the best radios, the last word coming out of their mouth is right at 5. So they've practiced. Now, one of the things I highly recommend doing is when you get your speech written and it's ready to go and it's as perfect as you can get it, practice, practice, practice. And when you do, keep a stopwatch right next to you. And over time, you're going to kind of get in a rhythm. And when you get to a certain place in your script, you can mark, at 2 minutes, I should be here. At 3 minutes, I should be here. 4 minutes, so on and so forth, so that way you can pace yourself. A very common mistake that people make in beginning radio is they get nervous and then they go fast. They speak really, really fast. I've heard some fast radios. So what this can tell you is if you're reading your script, and you can have a stopwatch with you there in the round, and you get to the 1 minute mark, and your watch says you're at 1 minute, but you're way beyond that in your script. Oh boy, I'm talking really, really fast. Let's slow this down a little bit. And so by having where you need to be at each minute mark marked in your script that you figured out, like under ideal circumstances, that's going to help you pace yourself. That's going to help you finish up right on time. But, granted, in one of your sections, you might need to add a sentence just to make sure that you're on time, or you might need to take a sentence out. That's going to be up to you and the writing, but you've got to focus on the time because that's crucial in radio commentary. Now, one of the last things to note on radio commentary is the commentary part. Okay, we've got the radio part down, but commentary is important because one of the key questions that as judges we've been told to ask when we're listening to radio commentary is, what is the commentary? What is your unique point of view? What is your take on this particular topic that's different from every other take that's out there? Is this person bringing something unique to me as the listener that maybe I haven't thought of before? You need to add your unique flavor to this topic. You need to add your unique take to this topic because that's what I'm really looking for in the commentary part. It's great to have all sorts of information about this particular topic, but what is this person's commentary? What is this person's unique point of view, unique outlook that's going to make me suddenly change my mind about a topic? I've heard a lot of radios that don't have that, and you're just like, all right, they're just spouting information for 5 minutes. And I've heard a lot of radios that have completely changed how I view things in the world, which is exactly what it's supposed to be. So make sure you have your unique commentary built into each of your points so that we can really understand where you, as a competitor, are coming from versus all these other voices that we hear out there. So radio is fun. Again, only 5 minutes in length. Really short speech to prepare. You don't have to memorize it. The judge is not looking at you. But that does not mean it's any less of an event because everything you do is through your voice and through your writing in that radio commentary with a perfect time of 5 minutes. Looking forward to hearing them. And that is radio commentary.